I have done some things on the fly before, and so instead of a devotion, I just hope that we continue in moving forward like we're doing. I think that the children this year are really benefiting from the efforts of the community and the board, teachers and principals, and for that, I think we all should be grateful every day and thank our blessings for that. So, and also be grateful for Dr. Moore becoming a grandmother as another child enters into her life. Little Jacob was born yesterday on Mr. Breyer's birthday, so he's going to grow up to be a wonderful man. So we just have a lot to be thankful for. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you. And with that, I'll try not to break the gavel, but we'll come to order. And if we can stand, I believe we have the Jeff Davis High School Junior ROTC to help us today.
Left wheel, march. I am Marine Corps Junior ROTC Cadet. I will always conduct myself in a manner as to bring credit to my family, school, Corps cadets, and country. I am the future of the United States of America. I am loyal and patriotic. I do not lie, cheat, or steal, and I will always be accountable for my actions and deeds. I will always practice good citizenship. I work hard to improve my mind and strengthen my body. I will seek the mantle of leadership to stand prepared to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Please join us in the recitement of the pledge. Present. Arms. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. On. Ready? Go. Left wheel. March. Forward. March.
And if we could give them a round of applause. That certainly makes me think that the state of our states are in good hands when I see these young men. It's wonderful. We have a forum tonight, and would anybody like to approve our agenda?
Madam President, I move that we approve the revised agenda as printed.
I second.
All in favor by a show of hands? Okay. And Scott Johnson, wherever you are, the floor is yours.
Should have taken it off since we didn't have NBC.
Do you need me?
Please, we hand out the certificates. All right, this evening we are going to start by recognizing the MPS Teacher of the Year. Will Stacy Skanes please join us up here? You can come around behind you there. And her principal is here tonight as well, Amicia Officer, over here. So Stacy Skanes is a second grade teacher at Garrett Elementary. She's been teaching for 13 years, and this is her 5th year at Garrett. She is the co-facilitator for the school's Leader in Me program, and that's a leadership model that Garrett and several other MPS schools use to create a culture of empowerment for students. She makes learning fun and engaging using activities such as nature walks, science experiments, and projects that incorporate STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. She uses a wide variety of technology resources as well. And according to her principal, Stacy Skanes is a wonderful and passionate educator. She is a go-getter who truly has a heart for children. Let's all join the board in giving her a big round of applause. All right, next up, we should have a student who is setting some records. Will Shanice Spicer please join us? Shanice Spicer is a member of the Brewtech track team, and in December she broke a meet record at the Birmingham Crossplex with a time of 7:63 in the 60 meter, which sounds pretty fast.
Wow, that's awesome.
She's actually racked up the accomplishments during her time at Brewtech. She won two silver medals, and a bronze medal at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex last summer in Orlando as well. So let's give her another round of applause.
Her parents are here, could we recognize them?
Yes.
Oh, they are?
Have
Okay.
them to stand.
Can they stand up?
Yeah.
Are you going to Tokyo this summer to represent us?
The Olympics.
Had to ask.
Next Olympics, definitely.
All right, next up, we want to recognize two people who have contributed a lot to the students of this district through the Stuff the Bus program. Are Nikki and Pastor Jeremiah Ziegler here? Nikki Ziegler has actually been involved in Stuff the Bus for a number of years now. This year, though, she and Pastor Ziegler took it to another level. They donated an estimated 10,000 individual items, including school supplies and uniforms. By all accounts, this is the biggest year ever for Stuff the Bus, I understand. And we just wanted to say thank you to them for everything they've done for the students at MPS.
No, I am so proud of Nikki. Taught her 9th grade science.
All right, next up we have our employees of the month. Will Nyenia Webster and Candace Shepherd please join us? I believe their principals are here as well. Randy Shaw from Crump and Meredith Bishop from Wilson. All right, Nyenia Webster is a 5th grade math teacher at Crump Elementary and was named the school's Teacher of the Month for January. She has excellent classroom management, is organized, and has extensive academic knowledge. She's a team player who embraces collaboration and does whatever is asked of her. According to Principal Randy Shaw, she is tough, but kids have respect for her, and she's well-liked. She's also great with technology and uses it often to help keep her students engaged. And Candace Shepherd is the new front desk data entry secretary at Wilson Elementary. And she is also a Wilson parent and a PTA officer at the school. She demonstrates excellent customer service and even volunteers to assist classroom teachers, the school nurse, the principal, and the bookkeeper. Numerous parents have offered words of praise about her as well. Principal Meredith Bishop says she is irreplaceable, and we hope she stays a part of our Ranger family for many, many years to come. And we have these certificates for them. We also have these gift cards, $25 gift cards, courtesy of Baptist Health. So let's give them a round of applause. All right, next up, In a few days, it will be February, which means it will be African American History Month. So the board would like to have this resolution read proclaiming it African American History Month for Montgomery Public Schools. Whereas the month of February is designated as African American History Month in the United States of America, and whereas Montgomery Public Schools joins the nation in celebrating the innumerable contributions of African American citizens to our great nation, our state, and the world, and whereas these contributions include many important events that happened in Montgomery County, Alabama, including the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Miss Rosa Parks, Mr. E.D. Nixon, Mrs. Johnny Carr, and so many others well known to history, and those who impacted quietly and unrecognized, and those who continue to work today to make our world more united. And whereas Montgomery Public Schools serves a diverse community and seeks to promote understanding of all cultures within our community, and whereas Montgomery Public Schools joins with school systems across the state of Alabama and our nation in this recognition and celebration of the scientific, artistic, spiritual, intellectual, political, business, and cultural contributions of African Americans to the United States, and therefore be it resolved this day, January 28th, 2020, that the Montgomery County Board of Education proclaims February 2020 as African American History Month and encourages all Montgomery Public Schools to engage in activities and programs that are designed to learn about and honor the contribution of African Americans. And the board members will sign this, and we will put it in a frame so everyone can see it. And I'll give this to you in a minute. One last thing we'd like to do is we'd like to thank 7 people who do not always receive the thanks they deserve. January is School Board Recognition Month, and we'd like to take a moment to show our appreciation for them. School board members serve as a link between the community and the classroom. They are elected to establish the policies that provide the framework for public schools. They are focused on meeting the diverse needs of all 29,000 children in the district and their families. Their caring and compassion for students represents an enormous contribution to the community as a whole. And I believe Mr. Roller has some certificates for you that he will pass out. And let's give them all a round of applause.
Thank you.
And that's all for me.
No. We had no video. Why couldn't we stand up and get out?
He asked if we wanted to vote.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
You got your timer?
There's only going to be 3 of us left in the room in a minute.
Hey, will we see what they came for?
And these folks are missing some more good stuff coming up. So, just so we have it, there was more good news in the last couple of weeks here for MPS, and I'd just like to share that with you. 3 MPS students won first, second, and third place in the Martin Luther King oratorial contest held by the Montgomery County MLK Commission. All 3 students took part in the city's parade, and the first place winner, I hope I get this right, Sherlincia Brasley of Lamp, delivered her speech on the Capitol steps. Second place winner was Kentarius Falk from Lanier High School, and third place winner was John Cuevas Colquette, a freshman from JD. Also this week, Bear Exploration Center continues to meet their high standards for the 3rd year in a row and 4th year overall. Bear's been named a Magnet School of Distinction by Magnet Schools of America. And just because this is important to a lot of people, the Lee High School basketball team has been just doing great guns the last little bit. They are 24-1. And they won their first 24 games of the season. They lost a nail-biter on the road to Pinson Valley on Saturday. And the score, just so you know, was 83-82. And hot off the presses, this was announced today, because I don't think you will have seen this, but LAMP has earned the College Board AP Computer Science Female Diversity Award for achieving high female representation in AP Computer Science principles. And that's as of today. On that recognition, LAMP was one of 639 schools recognized for this award out of 20,000. So we're real proud, we are very proud of that. Before we get into our agenda items, and before we hear from Ms. Brown, Dr. Coleman, you had a word you wanted to give us.
Well, I don't really like bringing this up after all the good news, but I will go ahead and say that January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. This is relevant to us because it does affect not just our community, but our schools. 80% of the known victims are female. The average age for a trafficked child is 12. This has a great impact not only on the community, but on the academics and the mental health of our children. And I feel that it's vitally important that we make it publicly known, that we are aware. It has been called the modern day slavery, a clear and present danger in our state. Human trafficking is epidemic. We don't want it to go unnoticed, and we do want the community to know that we, as citizens of Montgomery and policymakers of Montgomery schools, that we do want to address these issues. We want to make parents, students, teachers aware of what's going on and what resources might be available to them. Know that we are here, we are listening, and we are ready to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Very important. Ms. Brown, I don't need to read these rules, do I, to you? I didn't think so.
I'm going to go through this rather fast. I was glad to hear you talking about some of the things that the students do at the different schools and everything, because I got in my mailbox from the athletes at Park Crossing, and I wanted to give you a copy, and I wondered why the news doesn't do anything about it also, of the young men who played ball at Park Crossing, and they won recognition and everything, and they were so great. They sent me their name: Malik Cunningham, Cam Bright, Jawan Taylor, Tank Jenkins, PJ Blue, Grant Dubose, Cam Taylor, Darius Hodges. I think that they should receive recognition here in Montgomery, where they came from Park Crossing Senior High School. It lets us know that our students are going out and they are making a name for themselves, and they are doing good. And I wish whomever is responsible for dealing with Park Crossing would visit it more and help them to accomplish some of the things that they are trying to accomplish, because they are trying very hard. I am so happy to hear the children and the different ones who came forth and received recognition today, but let me tell you about some of the recognition that they are not receiving. I was called by a teacher today and told that they had 150 kids coming in late, and that they have no rules and regulations as to what they can do about it, because the children and the parents understand that they can bring the children at 9 o'clock or after, even though they were supposed to be there by 7:30. They said one time they locked the doors, and they were called and told to open those doors immediately and let those children come in, because there was a problem. What we need to do is, as I go to these different conferences with these children to get them back into school, Your personnel talk to these parents as though they are ignorant. They're not ignorant. They should have more manners. They are rude. You need some regulations dealing with whom you are hiring. Understand that these parents are the ones that are important. When St. Jude announced safe, the charter school, parents came to me asking how could they get application to get their children out of the public school. This should tell you something. The teachers feel like they don't have any support. At Jeff Davis, they said they got so many rats until the teachers sit on the desk. Why can't we get somebody out there to do something about the rats? When these officials, I'm gonna finish this statement. When these officials ask you for help, to help these teachers because they are disgruntled and they are angry, help them.
Thank you.
3 minutes, I don't give it all, but I'll be back.
Mr. Roller, I
it
think
is.
you're in charge at the moment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to present the consent agenda for approval as printed.
Okay,
Madam President, I move that we adopt the consent agenda A through D.
Okay.
what about E?
A and E?
I said D.
Okay, not E.
You want it to take out E?
I don't have, oh, this is my
This is the new
rise.
one.
It's a revised agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, A through E.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said A through E.
Yes.
Yes, a second.
Okay. All in favor of
Discussion.
Discussion.
discussion?
I do. Just wanted to touch on a few things, dealing with our personnel certified report, and I'll make it really quick, even though I have some long comments. One of the things I noticed is the number of resignations that we have, and the reason I wanted to talk about it is because I wanted to bring awareness of the impact that it has on our students. In visiting my schools, I can say firsthand, I've seen those impacts in the classroom. So I already told Mr. Roller, my comments are gonna be directed towards him, and I think he was okay with it. But some of the things, having subs in the room concerns me because, you know, well, first of all, teachers leaving concerns me. But the impact that it has on the students is that they are going to struggle if there's not a certified person in the classroom, and that's facts. Having subs in the building is good for the management part of it, to just control it, but most of them are not credentialed, so I think about the effect that has on the students' academics, the culture of the school, sometimes the safety of the school, and the overall impact of the district, the overall impact on the students. And so one of the things that I wanted to add on our work session, which is February the 11th, is to talk about how to address teacher retention and just talk about things that we have in place. And that's dealing with turnover, attrition, and recruitment. Because when you talk about schools that are not meeting the mark, that's a lot of what plays into it. And I think we need to get very serious about it, because it's a very serious situation to have children in classrooms where they don't have teachers.
Madam President, once upon a time, in the good old days, if they started a school year, they had to complete that school year without making any changes. There was times that you couldn't go, you couldn't leave the first month if you had already signed up. And so some of this is not responsibility of MPS. And we know it's that way all over. I don't understand why we have so many people that resign, retire, and all of that. Some are going on leave and not being at work, and then somebody will have to come in and substitute for that person until they use up their sick leave days. And I agree with Erica in that we are going to have to do something, and the State Department will have to do some things. We can't do any more than the state allows us to do. But we do know we can't make people stay here if they want to resign. And we got to do something to help them see the relevance of being in the classroom where the students are. And this has affected a lot of students I personally know about, because I said, well, how can you leave in the middle of the year? Well, once upon a time, you could not do that. You were there for the year. And so maybe we could get some help from the State Department, because it's not all on MPS.
Well, it's my hope that the state legislature will pass a new law that will make it advantageous. Right now, the way the law is, it's written, you know, we hope that the new one, we hope it'll pass this year, which makes it advantageous to be in the classroom.
Yeah, Lisa brought this up
years ago.
You know, about the number. When you look at the personnel report and you see names after names and numbers after numbers, something is going awry. But it's nothing unless we get the legislature or the state. Our hands are tied. If they come up and they tell Miss Gillis that they are resigning, she can't say, no, you're not. I mean, you know, let's be realistic. It's not MPS. It's the legislature and the State Department.
And we have a
Because
shortage.
If you sign on the dotted line and you say you're going to be at that school, then come hell or high waters, you ought to be there until at least the end of that school year. It makes no sense.
Well,
I've never seen anything like what's going on in the last few years.
We also have a vast shortage of teachers too, not just us, statewide and nationwide.
I think, I'm gonna say this, and I think I sound like a broken record. And if this didn't happen this week, I don't wanna tell anybody, but when, I'm sure our HR could put it together. But one of there's the resignation that would be on here that's not in here, that quit MPS, one of our, I think, middle schools, an English teacher. And I'll go ahead and say, hopefully he won't get fired for me saying.
You can't call them names.
I'm not just calling names, but it's a husband of who I work for.
Mm-hmm.
And MPS went, oh man, I said, why did he quit? And this is what every one of them say. Every time I ask why, discipline. I have no support. I have no support. Yeah. And Miss KT, she's right. When you're letting kids come in at 9 o'clock, I believe her on 150. I've been out. You go down Ann Street, go past Park Crossing. You just go at 9 o'clock and see how many kids are just walking down the road. Or go 1 block over, okay, on Buford. And they're lined up. They're lined up before school's out. Go over there at 2:15. That is an administration problem. Now, I don't know who we have over at some of these schools. That is an administration. And when you have teachers that cannot discipline, and when they send them off for something and they send them right back to the classroom, you got teachers like this male teacher. This is a male drama teacher that actually got up last week and said, I'm done. Now, what they did tell him is say, look, if you'll just make it through this week, or this year, we'll place you where you want to go. That's not the solution. That's a Band-Aid. Yeah. You've got to go look and listen. She's not up there just barking. I know sometimes y'all think KT can just bark, but a lot of what she said today, I didn't go amen, sister, but it's the same thing. It's the same component that is not legislative. It is us, and we need to do something about it.
Thank you.
Lisa, man, if I can just echo some of the things, and when I went out on a visit, teachers will stop and talk to me, and everything you said is spot on. It is, legislative, but a lot of it is us, which is why collecting data on why our teachers are leaving us is something that has to be done. If we're going to put a stop to it, we need the data to see why we're not able to retain those teachers. It impacts us economically. We are having to retrain and train teachers, then they're coming and they're getting the experience and they're leaving, and that hurts our student achievement. So if we're outcome driven, as we say we are, and data driven, this is important information. These exit interviews have to be done so that we can put something in place to make it more desirable to work in MPS school system. And I did go looking for it, and it does not exist, which is unfortunate because it really sets us back. It's just important information to make our district better. I know it's an epidemic across the nation, but right now I'm on the MPS board, so I'm worried about MPS.
Well, and we'll go ahead and we'll see about putting that on the work session for the next one.
And I think we need to remember, when you see 19 resignations right here, and out of those 19, 75% of them are core courses, math, science, English,
No.
we have issues.
Well, we'll address it at our next session. Any other discussion on this? Is there a motion to accept? No, I'm not making it. Would you like to make it?
Oh, no, I thought you were asking, was it? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Claire.
No, would you like to make the motion?
What am I making?
It was moved
already on the floor.
This was discussion.
Okay.
We've just closed debate now, so
Okay.
you just carried a motion.
All in favor? A show of hands, please. Okay, that passes. And our next meeting, our next work session is Tuesday, February the 11th at 5 o'clock right here.
Madam Chair, before you go, just want to take an opportunity to remind everyone that Advanced Ed will be coming on Monday of next week.
Those are the
There's a schedule. I'm not familiar with all the details for the schedule, but they'll be in town starting on Monday.
Okay. All right, we are adjourned.
You want them, Scott? Before they leave? You want to get them before they leave? You want to get their photos before they leave? They may not.
Yes. This was your revised agenda.
Scott, you want this or you want me to read
What people don't say.
You didn't invite me to another. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Bless his heart.